Today actually promises to be so much fun. Thank you so much for being here. As you all know, I am Mo from Legacy Concept Limited, and the topic that we're about to discuss on today is basically more of frequently asked questions, and we'd like to treat some of the questions that you might also have with respect to January 2022 admissions. Hi, I see you, welcome. And I'm waving back at you, welcome. Okay, so if you have any questions to ask me, just drop it in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer them. It's just more about me trying to find out exactly where your pain points are and seeing how best I can actually meet the needs of answering those questions, if you know what I mean. So, hi, I see someone requesting to join. Exactly, I would really like you to, I want this to be an interactive session where we can actually just chat and just have fun with it, if you know what I mean. Let's just have a normal conversation, chat about it, about schooling, about studying, and let's just see how it goes. All right, so I'll definitely accept the request very soon. I'll definitely accept the request very shortly, if you know what I mean. So I would just like to talk a little bit about some of the questions that they've been asking that I have jotted down here, you know, and also I would also like to deal with the questions that you might have in respect to your January 2022 intake. So like for instance, now some students would always ask like, when can I apply for January 2022 intake? You know, they will always ask like, when can I apply for January 2022 intake? When exactly do I start at applying for it? But the truth is that why don't you just start now? Why exactly would you want to delay on that? Why don't you just start right away, like yesterday? You know, we would always want you to come in and send your documents as soon as possible so that we can put in your application as soon as possible so that you can get your admission on time, you know, in a timely manner. And there are deadlines to these things. Some schools actually have even closed as at now, like they're not taking applications for January anymore. Schools like Shelfie Dalam, for instance, they're not taking January applications right now. So for situations like this, for us to be able to avoid, hi, hi, I'm waving back at you. Hi. So for us to be able to avoid situations like that, we would always advise that, you know what, why don't you just try as much as possible to put in your application on time in a very, very timely manner. It's so good to see you all, my people. Hi. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining. Please drop your questions though, because I'm still going to definitely take your questions, and I would like you to chat with me. Like, I would definitely like to accept someone to just chat with me, you know, so because I want it to be very interactive. I want us to have fun with it. I want it to be more of a question and answer segment where we just have fun generally and we get to know each other better, you know what I mean. So I'll just like you to keep dropping your questions. I'll definitely get to them. So I have questions like that, like when exactly can I come in, when exactly can I start? But the truth is that right now you should have actually started dropping your documents as at now, if you know what I mean. Also, I have students that would always ask like, do you have any school that does not have up to 50% of their remaining tuition fee upon enrollment? Now, I have a lot of students that come up to me and they keep asking, okay, we placed an ad on just recently on £1,000 deposit. £1,000 deposit, and a lot of students actually keyed into it because they were like, yes, £1,000, are you kidding me? I really want that. But what they don't know is that after paying the £1,000 deposit, it is very important for you to know that 50% of your remaining tuition fee, you need to pay it upon enrollment. So if you don't have that, then there is practically no point, because aside from the fact that you're paying that £1,000 deposit, the moment you get to school and you're enrolling, 50% of your remaining tuition fee is always required, you know. So, and the truth is that most of these schools are actually their closing date is actually drawing in very fast, because you know you still have some days to count for your 28 days bank statement that needs to be counting. So because of that, it's always advisable that, you know what, you put in your application as soon as. Here's the reason why I'm always saying, why don't you contact us now? Contact us. Let us help you to make your dreams come through. Let's help you to make your dreams come alive. So the earlier we do this for you, the better. But it's important that you note, like I said, that 50% of your tuition fee after you've taken out the deposit that you've paid, if you're paying £1,000 as deposit and you've taken that out of your, and say your tuition fee is like say 13,000 and above or something, and you've taken out 1,000 from that, half of what is remaining, 50%, needs to be paid upon enrollment with the school. So most people don't know this, but it's actually very, very important that you note that, you know. It's important that you actually note that. And also, some students will always ask, like, can undergraduates start applying? Because, you know, the truth is that we have some undergraduates that would say that they actually want to start applying now. They definitely can, because there's this thing called Universities and Colleges Admissions Services, UCAS. All international students that are undergraduates, they need to go through UCAS. It's actually very key. They have to go through that body called UCAS for the UK, and they have a very short timeline for applications for UCAS. As a matter of fact, UCAS application started around September. They opened around September, and as at October, they're already saying that they are closing for UCAS. But the truth is that most schools, they give the grace for students to be able to continue trying to apply, for students that are undergraduates to actually apply for January intake. So even if the students actually, most undergraduate courses start around September. So for undergraduates that is going for, say, September now, you apply now. Do you understand what I mean? You start applying for that undergraduate that you're going for as at now. So because the time frame for UCAS is actually short, we have some courses and some schools that would actually take in January intake as well. And for those ones, they would always say that, you know, until the time of until you're getting close to the resumption date, UCAS is still on. So during January, you can still apply, despite the fact that for UCAS's body, they would always say that they originally they've closed, but they give an amount of grace per university in terms of application. So they would say, you know what, you can still continue applying to those universities, and they can still continue taking you in at least within January. You get, and within the start date of that course that you're going for. So it's important to note that every undergraduate course would actually have to go through UCAS. So even if you are going in for September next year, you have to start applying through UCAS from now. That's what I'm trying to say. And for those, some courses that are available for January and some particular schools that could actually be available for January, it's important to know that you need to put in your application as of now. And even if you go to UCAS's website and they tell you that they've closed, as long as you actually go to the school and you try to apply to them and they still take you in, it's still obtainable. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So UCAS, you still have that grace right now till January to keep applying for undergraduate courses through UCAS. You know what I mean? And there are some postgraduate courses too, specific ones, not all, that actually go through UCAS as well. So it's important that you note that every course that goes around UCAS, they have that timeline between now and January. So from January ending, UCAS will no longer be available. That's what I'm trying to say. So we need to put that into consideration. And we need to put that into consideration. So these are some of the questions that have been. Hi, I'm waving back at you. Hello, hi, welcome. You're so welcome. So these are some of the questions that bothers people in respect to undergraduates that actually want to study. You know what I mean? So some students will always ask as well that which universities are open for 2022. That they want to know which universities are actually open for January. But the truth is this. We have an amount of universities. If I start listing them, we will not leave this place today. You know, we have an amount of universities that are actually open for January. But it's important for us to note that all these universities, they have their deadlines. You know, so we need to work towards submitting our documents and applying before the deadline. Like I told you now, I'm going to only cite one example of a university, which is Shelford Hallam. They have actually closed. They closed October 15 or something. So, you know, hi, hello. Samuel, hi, I'm moving back at you. Hello, welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah, so they've actually closed. So it's actually important that we do this thing on time, in a very, very timely manner. It's important that we do. Also, I have students that would always ask me that, can I start a master's degree in January? Of course, you can start your master's degree in January. And that's the reason why we are here. We're actually here to make that come alive for you. You can definitely start. And we are still taking in documents right now. And we are still putting in applications right now. As a matter of fact, if we see that a particular school has closed, we can always help you put in for another one. And the beautiful thing is this. We can put in for more than one school for you. How about that? We can say, you know what, okay, to actually buttress your chances of getting more options and opportunity, let's just say, okay, let's put in for one and put in for another one for you to be on the safe side, you know. So we give you that leverage to rely on us, because we are here for you to actually make your dreams come through. You know what I mean? So my point is, please send in your documents as soon as possible. If you have them now, just send them in. And if you do not have them, if you don't have your documents, try and work towards getting them. As a matter of fact, if you don't have an idea of how to go about all these things, you can always send us a DM, and we'll definitely put you through on what is required and what is not required in respect to getting your dreams come through by Japa. You know what I mean? So also, we have some people that will always ask that Ielts, is it important that I must have Ielts for UK? Now, the thing is this: for UK, Ielts is not mandatory. Now, take for instance, now you have students that say they actually finished, they had their WAEC and their NECO, they did WAEC and NECO, but they don't have C6 and above in English, in both WAEC and NECO. And they definitely want to go to school, and they want to travel abroad, they want to study abroad. Now, there's an opportunity for them. Now, the university can decide that, you know what, we have our own internal exams that these students can actually take. Some schools, as a matter of fact, would not take NECO. Some will take only WAEC. Some will say, you know what, we can take both WAEC and NECO. So for those that say they will take only WAEC, and you have NECO, and you want to go to that particular school, now the school actually created an opportunity for you to say, you know what, write our own English exam so that it can help you. As a matter of fact, some would even say you pay for the English exam, but guess what, when you get there, we'll refund you. We just need to know that you're serious. You know what I mean? So they'll just be like, okay, you know what, pay for the English exam, and when you come to us and you start and you're enrolling, we'll take it out of your fees and we'll give it back to you. Like we will refund you that money. So like, we don't need it, we just need to know that you're serious. You know, that kind of thing. So it gives you an amount of opportunity for you to relax. And the English exams are not always so hard. There are things that you can always pass. You know what I mean? And so if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to go through the school directly, you can then say, you know what, okay, let me write Ielts, and it has to be academic. Like we always say, not general. It has to be academic Ielts that you will write. So also, we have some that would say, will taking PG qualification help my career? Like, okay, so I have my BSc, I'm working, I'm right, actually in a very good place right now. Why would I need to go for an MSc? Do I need a postgraduate? But the truth is this: for you to move forward in life, you would always want to achieve more goals and achieve more heights, you know. And it's always important to note that it's a good thing for you to add more to your degree, you know, and to expand yourself and give yourself a better opportunity in the workforce. So it's important to note that it's an amazing opportunity for you to say, you know what, okay, I have a certificate that is internationally recognized. You know what I mean? And besides, it's even amazing for you to know that, okay, I actually did travel to go and get this certificate. So when you say, okay, I'm just Niger born and bred, I've been staying in Niger all my life, I'll be like, and I actually did travel to go and get my education, I'll be like, guy, I actually know more because I'm more exposed, I'm more experienced than you right now, because now I see a lot of things. I've seen different cultures, I've seen diversity and inclusion, I've been able to mingle, I've been able to meet with different people with different backgrounds. So you have an amazing opportunity to actually take this offer of traveling and experiencing a different world aside from the world that you're used to, you know. So it's really, really, really a good thing for you to say, you know what, I actually do. Because I won't lie to you, a lot of students come and they're like, are you sure that this thing really matters? Do I really need to take this? Like, do I really need to go? Do I really need to do my MSc abroad? Do I really need to do this? But as long as you know what your career path is and you know exactly what it is that is your driving force, what you're passionate about, and you see yourself actually progressing in this. I always ask people, I always ask them, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? When you picture your mind, where exactly do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So if you see yourself going through the same career path that you've been going through, and you see yourself progressing in it, because we always want to move forward in life, yeah? And you see yourself progressing in and moving forward, then you'll be like, yes, I actually do need this. Because the truth is, it actually takes a lot of commitment to say, yes, I can do this. I can actually make this happen. Because a lot of times, you put in documents, you are wondering, am I going to be able to get this? Am I going to be refused, or are they going to accept? After accepting, then you apply for visa, and then you are wondering, where do I get the money from? Where do I do this? So many commitments is being asked of you. The commitment level is high. So it's something that once you make up your mind that I really, really need to do this, then you go for it. And we are here to actually help you make that a reality, you know. So the most important thing is that you want it, and then we'll actualize it for you and guide you through the whole process and not leave you for 1 second. So much so that by say next week or something, we'll just call you and be like, you know what, come and give us testimonials now, in respect to how we helped you to travel. So it's an amazing opportunity that most people that actually do take this offer to travel to school abroad, they come back and they're like, yes, it was worth it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So we have students also that would always ask that, can I study part-time? As for my PG, can I study part-time? Now, international students, they don't do part-time. So most of the international students that go, they don't actually take part-time for them. So if you're going as an international student, you are definitely going to be going as a student, like you're going to be going for the full course. Part-time courses are not available for international students, and the truth is that EU students, their tuition fee is actually lesser than that of international students. And for you that you're coming into their country, you're coming in as an international student. So their tuition fee actually varies. So you have those that are for direct EU, and you have those that are for international students. So we always, because some people will check the website, and the one for this thing is the one that they'll be telling you that is the fees. And then you'll be pointing it out to them that no, it is this one that is the fees, and then they will start shouting that, please, I don't understand. Why is the fee so much? Or why is it higher than that? But it's the truth. That's the way it has always been for international students, for those that want to study in the UK. Hi, I see you joining. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome. I see you. Okay, so we've been talking about questions, basic questions that people ask. I'm still going to go through your questions, and I still have some questions in the Q&A that has been dropped for me before. And I still see a request, so I'm definitely going to join. I'm going to ask you to join me, and I'm still going to go. I just want to go through these little questions that I have drawn up from the students that I've been having conversations with in the past in respect to January admissions. Okay, so some would always say that what are the fees for postgraduate tuition fees, like the range of those fees. They want to know firsthand what exactly the fees are and all of that. Now the fees actually varies. It varies per course, it varies per school. So it's a research that we'll do for you whenever it is that you come to us and you say, you know what, okay, I'm actually interested in studying. So like I said, you know, I told you that if we start naming all the schools that are available now, we will not leave here today. It's the same way we start telling you per school, per fees, we will not leave here today. So the truth is, what we do is we check through your documents. We make sure that whatever it is that you're going to do, it aligns with your career goals and what you want to do in the future. So we would always say, you know what, in respect to that career line and your work experience, we ensure that you're going to a particular school and you're actually taking a particular course that would help your career growth. You understand what I mean? So when we do that, we'll now say, you know what, okay, for this particular school, this is the fees that they are asking for. And we'll ensure that we check that the requirements that are required by those schools is actually met. Hence the reason why we always say we give due process to these things. You know, we always ensure that we are doing the right, because we try as much as possible to reduce and completely eliminate rejections, you know, by schools. So we would always try as much as possible to be as detailed, you know, in respect to helping you to ensure that you're going through the right channel and the right process. So some would always ask, like, what do I need to increase my chances of getting admissions? Okay, so to increase your chances of getting admissions now in, say, January 2022, the truth is this: you should have sent us a DM by now. To increase your chances, you should have sent us a DM. We should have understood where you are coming from, understood where you are going to. We should have gotten your documents by now, gone through your documents, ensure that you go to the right school that is offering the right course that you actually do want to go for, and then we should have put in your applications by now. You understand what I mean? So that within the next at most 2 weeks, you get to hear from the school. That is only at most level. And also, I would also like to note that, sorry, for UK, you need to get your TB test done. So if you are sure that you do want to go to UK for January, the duration of TB test is 6 months. So if you do know that, yes, I actually do want to go to for January intake, I would advise that please go and apply for your TB test now. And as a matter of fact, you should start counting. By the time we have a discussion with you, we'll tell you what you need as your proof of funds, that the funds that you need to gather that will be in your account for 28 days. We'll start telling you about that now so that you can start working towards it, because now we're in October and you need 28 days minimum for that money to sit in your account. And remember that you are still going to process your visa for you and all of that. So we would always advise that, you know what, as soon as we are sending you the schools and we are sending you the course, we do the calculations for you to tell you how much we'll be looking at that will be in your account, so that you can start gathering that money together and start putting it in, and you can start counting even before you hear anything. Because the truth is, the timing is very short, and most of these schools, by the first week of January, they're already coming in. By first week of January, their applications are already schools are already resuming. Hi, I'm waving back at you. Schools are already resuming for January intake. So some schools will do middle of January, some will do last week of January. It depends on the course you are going for. So it depends. But it's important that we put all these things in place as soon as possible. And also, so basically, someone also asked me that can I apply for more than one school. Of course, I said it earlier that you could definitely apply for more than one school, and we'll do that for you so that you can actually have that opportunity, expand your opportunities, so that the chances of you getting admission for this particular intake will not pass you by. And please, I want you to note that by September 2022, it's going to be a new intake. Hence the reason why I would say the opportunity you have now for January 2022 is that the amazing opportunity is that you are still using 2021 fees, which means that the tuition fee has not increased yet. But by September 2022, the tuition fee would increase, even if it is by a little bit. But it will be what it was in 2021. So I would like you to note that. So for those that would say, you know what, I don't mind 2022, but I'd just like you to note that by that 2022, your fees would have increased a little. Compared to 2021, it actually increases every new year for academic session, and the academic session starts by September. So those are the things I want you to know. That are a few. I have a lot of questions though that are coming in from students. Like seriously, like if I go through all of them, in fact, we are not going to leave here today. But I just wanted to pick out some basic questions that are always being asked on a frequent basis in respect to students' fears for studying abroad. So now I have some questions. I just want to check through those questions. Someone says that would like to know about your school loan package. So in respect to loan now, you might have to contact the school directly yourself, because some schools will actually give grants to students. What we work with is we work with students. Sorry. Q&A. We work with students that are actually sorry about that. What we work with is we work with students that would my line of thoughts. We work with students that are let me just go through that question again. We work with students that we work with schools. We work with schools that have scholarships. They have scholarships to give. Yes, sorry, my line of thoughts just disappeared there. So we work with schools that have they have discounts to give. Yes, we work with schools that have discounts to give. They give discounts and it's at their discretion, it's at the discretion of the school that these discounts are actually given to students. And so in terms of giving loan now, you might have to be the one to contact that school directly for that to happen. Then we have what is the payment plan for BCU? So now for Birmingham City University, after paying your deposit of £3,000, we would always say, hi, I'm moving back at you, welcome. So after paying your deposit of £3,000, on enrollment with the school, you'll be required to pay 50% of your tuition fee. And once you pay that, the rest of your tuition fee could actually be split into like 3 installments. But you have a conversation with the school when you get there in respect to your payment plan, installmental payment plan. Because I remember that we had a testimonial with one of the students that came and said he was always going that for his remaining part of after paying his 50% tuition fee, the remaining part of the tuition fee that needed to be paid in installments, that he had a conversation with the school, and every week or something that he was always getting money. He was, the moment he knows that he has money, he was always getting he was always going there to actually pay them, so which worked for him. So but the thing is that most of the time he's always on like at minimum of 3 installments to pay the remaining part of your tuition fee. So I would have one more question, because I have like 3 questions from the so I have a lot of questions from the Q&A. So I just want to go through those questions. So we have someone says, can I use WAEC to get an undergraduate course in UK despite that the WAEC result is old? Yeah, so the thing is, you can use your WAEC results as long as, for most of these schools, they would always say from 2000 and above. In terms of the year, from 2000 and above, that you should always check to see that for WAEC, from 2000 and above should be what you use. Anything below that, would always advise that you take either the English with the school, or you take Ielts. You always have to do that. But once your WAEC is dated from 2000 and above, is well accepted. Now we have some schools that will take those that are after 2000, but they are limited schools. They are very limited schools. We have some specific schools that would actually take that, but not all schools. Most schools will always tell you that, from 2000 and above is what is actually obtainable. So I'm coming. I just want to go through. So someone asked about the WAEC. Sorry, just give me a minute. Okay. Then someone asked, does a lump sum of deposits for living expenses affects the visa outcome? A lump sum of deposits for living expenses. Yes. Okay, someone is asking that, say you actually deposit a whole lot of money for living expense. So, okay, the way living expense works is this, that you would have some amount of money in your account, and the account needs to be active. So this person is asking that, okay, do I have to have, if I have a huge sum of money enter into my account, will it affect the whole process of the funds that need to be in my account? Now the truth is this, if you put in a whole, say you're in your account now, you have like 10 million, and then you start counting, because the day you put in that 10 million, the next day is when you start counting. So say you start counting already, and a day after that, somebody puts in 1 million into your account, it's going to be questioned. So you have to start counting all over again. Because what we want to see is a transaction that is not so much, like minimal kind of transaction. So it's important to note that you would obviously have to start counting all over again in respect to that regard. So it's always important that the moment you have put in a huge amount of money, you start counting from probably the next day. And the money you're counting has to be that 28 days counting, if you know what I mean. So I'm still going through your Q&A. I'm still going to answer the questions in the comment section. I just want to go through the Q&A. We'd like to know about, okay, I've answered that. What is the payment plan? Okay, I've answered that. I've answered that too. Good evening, please. What are the possibilities of additional stay? Okay, someone is asking, good evening, please. What are the possibilities for additional stay once the 2 years post-study is expired? Okay, so after the expiration of your 2 years post-study, if you have like an understanding with your organization where you're actually working, you could actually request that they retain you. And if not, you might have to come down and apply to probably somewhere that you could actually work, or something, because it's always important that you don't falter on whatever it is that you and UK government have agreed on, because you know that it's always important that you follow due process. So say you've gone through school and you've done your 2 years and all of that, and you still want to stay, you could always just have an understanding with your school, or you can say, you know what, I actually want to try in for another course or another degree, or I want to further my PhD. Okay, say you're an undergraduate now and you've done all your studies, and then you still want to stay further, you could progress and say you want to go to the uni. And say you're in the uni, you might say, you know what, okay, I actually wanted to continue, I want to go for my postgraduates. So it depends on you, and it actually depends on your preferences, or what exactly it is that actually pays you better. So someone says, my WAEC result carries a different date of birth. How can I explain this with the visa authorities? Okay, so now in terms of having a different date of birth, or okay, I was still talking to someone today in respect to his name. So say you have like a different date of birth on your WAEC and a different date of birth on your passport, or you have 2 names on your passport and you have 3 names in one of your certificates. It's important to note that you need to get an affidavit. So it's actually very, very important to get an affidavit, because the school would actually give you a conditional offer because of it. So, and we wouldn't want you to go through that, you know. We wouldn't want you to start delaying and get you know, after getting a conditional offer, the moment they give you a conditional offer, they are moving to other people, you know, and then they will not have to come back to you again to come and change your offer from being conditional to unconditional, you know. But a lot of students will say they don't have that time, they'll be getting the affidavit later. But it's advisable that as long as you note that your date of birth is not correlating, get an affidavit of change of dates or something, or your names, one is actually missing, or the name is not properly spelt. Anything that has to do with your document that is not correlating well with that which you have on your passport, because that which you have on your passport is what the school is actually going to use. So it's always important that you do get an affidavit for it. So there's a lump sum of deposit. Okay, so now I have this question, that can I work to cater for myself and study in the UK? Yes, actually some students actually do that. They do work to, and then they do work while they study. But you know, like I would always say that it's actually very important that you have an amount of money with you, so that you can at least pay for your enrollment fees. You know, because once you get to school, the next thing you're doing is you're enrolling. So it's good that you have like an amount of money with you, at least for you to be able to do that, you know. And you could definitely work and be paying while to be paying the rest. You know, like I said, that the rest will be in installments. So you could definitely be working while you're paying the rest. But it's important that you at least you have your deposit, and then you have like at least 50% of your tuition fee. It's always important that you do that so that you can pay those off, and then the rest can actually be paid in many installments. So we have sorry, I just want to go through the questions. Yeah, sorry, just give me a minute. So we have someone that says, how does traveling with a spouse work? Okay, someone is saying, how does traveling with your spouse work? Okay, so if you want to travel with your spouse will be coming in as your spouse will actually be coming in as a dependent. So you will be the primary applicant, and you will be the one applying, and then your spouse, on the other hand, will be coming in as a dependent. So we don't need much of your spouse's documents. What we need is yours. And the most important thing is that there's an amount of fees that needs to be reflected in the amount that needs to be in your account for that 28 days, and that fees for your spouse needs to be included, if you know what I mean. So we need to include that money in the amount of money. You know, for now it's actually subject to change, because by next session now it could actually change. But for now, it's actually £6,500 needs to be in your account, in addition to what you already have calculated for you that needs to sit in your account for 20 days. And would also need your spouse's passport. And say you guys are married, we need your marriage certificate, we need your newspaper publication to show the relationship that you guys have. You know, so those are the basic things that are actually needed. But for more information about it, you could always send us a DM, and then we could see how we can help you to get that done. So someone says, okay, I've answered this question. Can I work and study at the same? I've answered that question. Can I work and cater for myself? Yeah, you're asking practically the same question. So if I submit my credentials by first week of November, is January admission still possible? Now, that first week of November can be late. That's the truth. But the truth is that now it depends on the school that we submit your applications to. So we might have to check to see the schools that are available that will still take in your documents by that time. But why would you wait till November to submit your documents though? We would advise that why don't you submit your documents now and let us put it in now, because at least you still have a little bit of time now to actually get that done. So please send in your documents now. Don't wait till November before you actually send in your documents. So I have another question that says, please, can I still apply for January intake? All credentials ready, and can I get a direct master's with 3 years work experience? Can I get a direct electrical engineering? Yes, you can actually put in, please send us a DM. Benjamin, I would advise that you please send us a DM immediately and let us take in your documents and let us put in your application for you as soon as possible. And yes, you can definitely get a direct master's, but with 3 years work experience it might not be possible, because you might get okay, if you have, sorry, now I just want to read your question again. Can I get a direct master's with 3 years working experience? You have 3 years working experience. You can definitely get a direct master's. You get what I mean? So we need to see your documents though. So once we see your documents, then we'll be able to tell exactly what is obtainable or what is not obtainable. And then once you get to go for your 1 year course, you could always get your 2 years post-study work. That's what I wanted to talk about. So which will make you stay a little bit longer in the UK. So someone says, good day, your school loan package, would like info about that. Yeah, like I said, you need to contact the school directly if you want loan from them. In terms of loan and grants, you need to contact the school directly. What we work with is helping to get tuition scholarships that can actually help to reduce your tuition fee a little bit. Yeah, we could actually help by getting tuition scholarships that would help to reduce your tuition fee a little bit, and it's at the discretion of the school also, like I said earlier. Okay, so I think I've answered majorly the Q&A questions that was dropped for me over the week. So now I actually want to answer questions from the comment section. So let me just see, I just want to scroll down and then try and answer questions from the comment section. But I hope that you're actually having fun with me right now. So let me just see how I can answer some of the questions that you might have. Just give me a minute. Okay, so is January admission still possible now? Hope it's not too late. My dear, no, it's not. Please send in your documents ASAP so that we can put in your application, because the truth is that some schools are actually closing up as soon as they are really closing. Like, I know of 2 schools now that are actually closed. They're not taking January intake anymore. They're just directing everybody to September, because you know since when people have been applying for January? They've been applying since. As a matter of fact, social work is one course that had closed for a very long time now in most schools. So you need to put in your application as soon as possible for you to get the best results. Having to get to hear from the school on time and all of that. Then someone says, can I get into nursing MSc with a BSc in sports science? Now, like I said before, that what we look at is we look at your work experience, and then we look at what you studied in school. So some might actually have what they studied in school might actually not go in line with what they are doing. We have that a lot. So if you have prior experience and you have certificates to back this up, then we can definitely put you in for nursing. We can put you in for adult nursing. We can put you in for health-related courses, as long as you have a background in that field and your work experience clearly states that you have certificates to prove it. Then definitely we can actually do that, regardless of what you studied in school, if you know what I mean. Because we have a lot of people that actually do volunteer work in a particular health organization, and they actually took major roles in those volunteer work. Not that they were carrying plate, you know what I mean, but they actually took major roles in those volunteer work. So you have people like that would actually do that. So okay, I see someone saying hi. Okay, so I have questions like okay, someone says they're still processing my passport. Hopefully we'll get it next week. So my question is, can I apply without my passport? My dear, the truth is this: the passport number or your passport is what will be put down in your application, and that passport number is exactly what will be used in referencing you for your CAS, for your visa. So we would always advise that you should ensure to get your passport the passport that you'll be using, that you should ensure to get it. But in some extreme cases, we have students that would be like, okay, my passport expired, or I put in with this particular passport. As a matter of fact, some schools would even tell you that you should go and get the new passport. Well, we try as much as possible to eliminate this, because before you get your CAS, as long as that passport has been corrected, it's still fine. But for you to be able to avoid problem and avoid future stress, where they will say the passport number that they put in before is different from the one that they are seeing now, and all the drama that entails, it would always advise that why don't you just get the original passport that you want to use and let us work with that. Because in that case, you know, some people have different names. That is when you realize that the middle name will change to the first name, the first name will change to the middle name in the new passport, and then the school will have to start updating. So we would want you to save yourself a lot of stress by saying, you know what, get us the original passport that we will use, so that the moment we put it in, the school will know that this is the name that is on your passport and this is the name that you will be bearing, if you know what I mean. So it's always advisable, but it's only in extreme cases that this happen, that would actually allow that you would have an old passport to use, and then you will be changing it. You'll be, as a matter, the school is working with a whole lot of students, you know, so they're working with a whole lot, so they don't have that time to be saying, you know, well, let's just help him to be updating the passports on the application portal, when they have students that are already putting in the passport that they really need. You understand what I mean? So we would like you to save yourself a whole lot of stress by saying, you know what, why don't you just drop in the real passport that you actually want to use. I might have to run, to be honest, I might have to run because my time is really running fast. I didn't even realize my time was running fast. I hope you guys have been having fun as much as I have. Okay, so some would say, do you only run through admissions for school in the UK? For schools in the UK, yes, we do admissions for you. Would help you to make sure that we process your admissions for you to study in the UK. Saw one of your sponsored ads that says 1K is required for CAS and the rest is spread across the study year. How much is then paid on arrival before registering for the course? Like I said before, before registering for the course, on enrollment with the school, 50% is required. As soon as you pay that £1,000 deposit, as soon as you pay that £1,000 deposit, 50% is always required for you to pay. You know, 50% of your tuition fee is always, remaining tuition fee is always required for you to pay. It's actually always very important that you note that. So my time is really running fast. I would have really loved to ask someone to join me. And so someone says, what schools take HND for master's program? Yeah, so we have some schools that will definitely take HND for master's, but remember that you need to have 5 years work experience in a managerial position. It's actually important that you do that. You do have that, so that you'll be able to get that HND. You know, HND is more like it's not a BSc yet. So for you to be able to make up for all that years, you will need to have like 5 years work experience in a managerial position. It's actually very, very important that you do have that for you to be able to get that HND, MSc, direct MSc. So after submitting your documents, how long does it take for the school to give you an offer? My dear, it actually depends on the school. It's at the discretion of the school. Some schools will take 72 days. Some will take 24 hours. Some will take 2 weeks. Some will take 1 week. It's at the discretion of the school most of the time. But we'd always advise that you just be a little bit patient with the school. Just be a little bit patient. You'll get to hear from them as soon as possible. So someone says, what's the school fees payment for Birmingham? Okay, I've answered that question. So I think that's basically it, because I have to run now. Is it late to start? Please, it is not late to start now. The most important thing I want you to take out of this whole presentation is, please send in your documents as soon as possible. Let's put in your application ASAP, you know, so that we can help you to make your dreams come through for January 2022. So someone says, do you need to pay for IHS before applying for visa? My dear, it is during the process, visa processing, that you do pay for your IHS. So it's important to know that it is during your visa processing that you do pay for your IHS. Someone says, can someone apply for 2 courses? Yes, for 2 courses in the same university. It's quite dicey and quite trickish, because your application process might be slow, please note, might actually take longer than for those that actually put in for 1. So we advise that why don't you put in for 2 different schools to save yourself a lot of stress of them saying this person put in for this course and then they are putting in for this course, and then they are all confused and wondering which is which. You know what I mean? The same name, just different courses and all of that. So we'd always advise, I'm trying to rush up because my time is really running fast. So we'll always advise that you do try as much as possible to put in for 2 different schools so that you would save yourself a lot of time and stress and all that. So someone says, how long does it take for visa to be granted from the application date? The truth is this, for visa to be granted, it depends on the package that you actually pay for. Some go for priority, some go for super priority. Some go for just applying for visa alone. But the truth is that normally, even if you pay for priority, within 5 working days, you'll be able to get your visa. But a lot of people want to japa right now. So, as a matter of fact, if you go to Ikeja there, at the where they do their biometrics, people are really, really much. Like, people are really many there. So, it's actually it's really, really clogged at this time. So it might take a little bit longer, but please be patient with even visa. So they will definitely get back to you, because they will need to go through your biometrics and all of that. So, and they will definitely get back to you. Now, this is where I have to go, because yes, my time is actually fast spent. I hope that you've been able to enjoy this whole question and answer segment, and it's been as much fun for me as it has been for you. And I see you and I wave at you, and I say thank you so much for being here. Until same time next week, please join us same time next week for an explosive experience. Thank you so much for being here. God bless. I see you.